I think the first time I, well, it was my mum actually, who she was looking after him one day. I was at work and it was an in-service day at school, so Carl didn't go to school that day. And my mum had a keyboard and she was a pianist and she could sing. So anyway, she'd looked after him, and then I went to pick him up, and she said, Caroline, she said, watch this. And he was about 6, maybe 7, round about that age, and he'd learned. Well, he'd obviously heard it at school because they were practicing for a nativity play, and he'd learned in his head how to play the snowman tune, like, it's this cartoon thing. And he played it, and he was playing the chords, and then he started to sing. And Mum said, I didn't know he knew that. This is, my mum got really excited, and my mum thought it was like a miracle. And I said, well, Mum, I said, well, let's see if we can keep him going. But he kind of did that and never did it again. And he wouldn't show any interest in playing the piano or the keyboard or singing. It was like, yeah, you've had your little moment. I've given you the show. Close the door again, and that was it. And he wouldn't allow us to come, to kind of join him on that. And Mum was sort of singing with him, and she said, oh, this is fantastic. But that was it after that. So we had a little kind of window into Kyle's sort of musical ability when he was about, I reckon about 6, maybe 7. And then nothing really interested Kyle. It was really tricky to know how to catch his attention. And I say that because in my experience is about what catches his attention. If I find something that I see him places awareness on, then I kind of focus in on it, and I think, okay, this could be another way in. And didn't really, he didn't really start to show an interest in music until he heard War of the Worlds, which I had on CD. And again, it was all about Martians coming to planet Earth and all that type of thing. And he liked that, and he got quite obsessive about listening to it. And they were listening to it at school as well, if I remember rightly. By this time, I think Carl was about 13, 14. And they had an amazing headmaster, who, could think outside the box. And he was really in tune with all the kids at Carl's school. And I think he brought it into school. And Carl just became obsessive about it. And would listen to like the double CD kind of, that we had for it. So he liked that. And then I think the second CD we ever got for him was one by Christa Berg, and he was fascinated with a song called A Spaceman Came Travelling, and that was like a Christmas song that Christa Berg brought out. But again, the lyrics are all very, they're all kind of like extraterrestrial type thing on some level. So I kind of thought, well, maybe science fiction is Kyle's, he could have an interest in that. So I kind of bought him some Superman comics and stuff like that. But it didn't know, it wasn't that. It was the music that was key, I think, to his interest, not necessarily reading material. So